Has someone just got under your skin. You talk to multiple people, you call friends, you call family members, and you just still find yourself thinking about what this person has said or may have done to you. Well, that's called rumination, and it is honestly draining your energy. You find yourself thinking about the same things, thinking about the same scenario, replaying it over and over again. You are triggered. If you consistently go through similar things and you start to avoid people, are you emotionally overreacting to situations where you are finding yourself being embarrassed? Are you thinking about, oh, I should not maybe have said that, maybe I shouldn't have responded this way, and people are starting to treat you kind of iffy or kind of odd, or they're distancing themselves from you? So this shows you that you are obviously triggered by something. And you're not alone. Many of people go through this. So I used to find myself, when people were mean to me or rude to me, I used to hyper fixate on that. So you can actually change this. So just imagine yourself being this particular type of person who don't feel anything. You don't feel the need to respond the way you used to respond. You don't have to people please them, or you don't have to fight them, or get defensive around them. You can actually be showing up your authentic self. You can be confident, and you can still be you. And I can show you guys how to do this in this video. I'm going to break down the topics here, but in this video, we're going to talk about how to remain unbothered when you are met with triggers, and how to set boundaries with people that often are a bit difficult, and also how to remain calm when things go wrong. Everyone always says is to not take things personally. And I know that it's easier said than done, but you got to think about it. It's like, if a person is showing up to you and they are rude, saying odd comments towards you, or being passive aggressive towards you, or if you walk in the room around people and their energy just shifts and changes, that means it's them. So do not internalize it. It's a lot of times, a lot of people are dealing with insecurities, and maybe you remind them of someone that may have affected them. It has nothing to do with what you had done to them. You may have not done anything to this person. And so when you begin to show up in life and allow people's comments bounce off of you and don't absorb, don't internalize it. Let's say, for example, if a person is like, you always say such awkward things, and you are always like this or that, maybe you are probably saying awkward things, but for them to hyper focus on that and it makes them feel a certain type of way, a lot of that has to do with them. Maybe they feel awkward about certain things. Maybe they feel the need to police themselves to speak in their mind, and so they're trying to project that onto you. Just use this as insight about how people are and how they are thinking, because a lot of people are very insecure and they're dealing with their own personal problems. And then a lot of this goes back to how they were talked to, how they were conditioned. Maybe they had a parent that had spoken to them. Maybe they had a mother that always talk about the way how they look or their weight and how their clothes look on them. And so that individual would begin to start doing that to other people. And so it's not even about the other people. It's more so about that individual. And so when you often do this enough and you start to not allowing it to get to you, and just have this understanding that this is how people are, just a mindset of just like, okay, people can be good, and that sometimes people have this way of saying things and it's not me, it is them. You can also say, hey, what do you mean by that? Where's this coming from? If they're doing that too often, you can remove your energy from that individual, but not to remove your energy from people, period. If you allow situations to happen in your life where it changes who you are as a person based off of you experiencing things with other individuals, and it changes you, how you act, then that means you have been traumatized. So you don't want to just remove yourself from every single individual that act like that. You want to know how to either grow and adapt, and to maybe being better at dealing with those type of individual. Maybe you may like outsmart how they are, you know, or you're a type of person where you just remain yourself, resilient, and you're just a rock. You're just grounded and you just let it bounce off of you. But whatever you do is don't run away from it. Do not run away from things, because if you constantly run away from situations or different people who show up to you in that way, the more and more worse it gets for you. And I'm going to be honest, it's how I was. I turned into a hermit when I used to go through things where people used to say stuff to me, and it used to like really get to me, and it really bothered me a lot until I realized that, wait, a lot of people are doing this. So this means that a lot of people are dealing with insecurities, or maybe the people that I surround myself with, that I am interacting with, are just dealing with insecurities. And maybe it makes me want to look inward into myself and say, if this is bothering me, if I'm dealing with so many people that have insecurities and they're projecting themselves onto me, maybe I can learn something from this. Maybe I can think to myself, maybe I need to increase my confidence. Maybe I need to increase my self-esteem. Maybe they are trying to teach me something here that I do not know. So the more you do this, the more unbothered you will feel. So set boundaries and stick with them. This is something that is also easier said than done. So setting a boundary is a way that you protect your emotional space. It's a way for you to remain calm when you're dealing with other people. And so setting boundaries is not an aggressive thing. It is an assertive thing. And if you're a type of person who's a people pleaser, where you often put people's emotion and feelings above your own, and you just have this belief, or you have been conditioned that that's the best way to be, this is how you treat other people. And I know, like, if you were raised religiously, in the Bible it always mentioned things of treat your neighbors how you want to be treated. The way of the world and how people act and how people respond, a lot of people are cutthroat in this world. If you have not noticed that yet, if you have not come to the conclusion, a lot of people in the world are cutthroat. In order for you to have a sense of sanity in this world, you have to have a sense of meanness. And so your meanness doesn't mean you have to be disrespectful. You have to get out of this goody two shoes mentality, and you have to just assert yourself. And you have to realize that asserting yourself and being mean when you need to be is a good thing, because society teaches us that, oh, we always have to be kind to people. We always have to say, you know, put people above us. And especially for women, women are always supposed to go out of our way. And if you don't do that, then you're not a good woman, or you're not a good person. But when you look around, the rest of the world, people are not actually abiding by those same rules. I don't know why those rules came about, because no one's really following those rules. If you notice it or not, it's a lot of unsaid things. So people will respect you, and you will have a lot more sanity when you assert boundaries. Let's say, example, if you have a friend and she may text you and you text each other, but when you ask her a question, days go by as she finally responds to you, you would externally go out of yourself and you'll say to her, hey, I feel such and such way when you text me. It makes me feel like I'm not a priority to you, and it makes me feel like that things are not as how they used to be. So can we continue to converse in a more time sensitive way? So you have to have clarity, and you have to use I statements and say how I feel, because if you just say, you never do this, you never do that, and this, that, and the third, they're going to automatically be defensive. But when you say I statements and just talk about how you feel, if they work with you on that, then that's a good sign that you can continue with that friendship, and then you guys can figure out how the best way you guys can communicate. Or the other way is, depending on how she responds to you, if she was very defensive even when you was very respectful, it teaches you to have your internal boundaries, because you cannot tell a person what to do depending on how she responds. So if she responds disrespectfully or very rude, or she just feels very defensive, even when you state it clearly in a respectful way. It determines how you want to move forward. Those are your internal boundaries. And so you can remove yourself away from that person, because you cannot tell a person how to be. You cannot tell a person how to act, because that is just control, because you cannot control other people. But again, is to know that boundaries are here to protect you and to also teach other people how you would like to be treated. It is not about controlling people. It's not about dominating nobody else. So by doing this, you'll begin to feel more secure and confident in who you are, and you don't feel yourself being as triggered by people as much. Now, focus on your own journey. Do not allow other people's successes or how they show up to you affect you. So focus on the things that you want to achieve. So don't compare yourself to others, and do not allow their opinions and their perspectives to be a measure of your worth. So when you are focusing on yourself, there's no reason for you to be hurt or feeling upset by what other people are doing or what they have going on. So let's say, for example, if your goal is to be married or have a boyfriend, and you're going on a date with a guy and the conversation is going well, like if you're texting him or you're messaging him, and then you're thinking to yourself, this may be the man for me. And then so you guys decide to meet up, but then eventually he doesn't show up to the date, or he cancels at the last minute. So instead of you viewing it as, wow, I feel so hurt, I feel so let down by this person. So it's not really this person you feel let down by. You mainly feel let down because you're thinking that the idea of what you wanted it's not going to happen for you. And so you let these experiences with people make you feel that, oh, I can't have it now, or that it's not mine, because you put in too much expectation on the person, who the person is, instead of thinking of it as a numbers thing. And when you do that, you have a sense of detachment. You have a detachment to how the people are, right? And I'm not saying like detachment to the people that are closer to you. It goes back to these new type of interactions with people. So you have to know that you have to have a sense of detachment with that, and know that it is a numbers game. And you have to have a sense of knowing that, well, whatever I want, I'm going to get it regardless. And I'm not taking personal how these opportunities, where it be jobs or new people that you're meeting, I'm not taking that personal about how they show up. That is who they are, and this is who I am, and I'm going to get exactly what I want from life regardless. And so you have to have this more so focus on who you are and what you want, and not allowing other people, how they respond to you or show up to you, be a measure of your worth. I've seen a lot of people do that. It's because like you have like these high expectations, and then people are not living up to these expectations that you're placing on them. And all of this is doing into you is further pushing you further away from what you actually want to have. And so you have to step out of that, and like, again, have a certain amount of detachment. Not saying like being an avoided type of person, because that's not good. We don't want that either. We don't want you to be super anxious, and we don't want you to be avoidant. There needs to be an equal ground. So having a level of trust and knowing that whatever it is that you want to have, you're going to have it, because you're focused on yourself and you're focused on your goals. Your goals is not going to end based off of who and whoever or whatever comes and shows up to you. So then your unbothered attitude would then become second nature. So lastly, practice self-care and self-love. When you love yourself first, and you know who you are, and you build this self-love, and you have a strong sense of identity, nothing can trigger you. You don't have to respond like by being avoidant or like, fawning, or you don't have to go outside of yourself and be anxious and being reacting in a very explosive manner. All of this has to do with just like having a sense of confidence in who you are. Once you have this confidence, you are like a solid rock. You don't care about what someone else says and how they show up. You begin to know who to choose to be in your life. You'll have the people that are much closer to you. You'll have people around you that pour into you. If you have like a strong sense of identity, a strong sense of confidence in yourself, you won't allow life and things just to like throw you off balance, because you know that life has its moments. Things happen in life. Life is not this smooth sailing experience. Like, there are ups and downs in life. And once you have that, you begin to be more resilient. Once you have that, you'll begin to move through life much more at ease. And you're not going to be going through life traumatized and triggered by events and people, because you have to have this sense of adaptability. You have to know that you are able to adapt through life no matter what happens. When you have this in you, the people that you would choose, they will be the ones to be supportive of you. You won't really feel as shaken up by things because you know how to maneuver through life. And then you have people that are pouring into you, and you are pouring into yourself, and you are also pouring into other people. I remember when I was in college and I didn't know anybody in that one particular class I had. And everyone was just buddy with each other, and no one was friends with me. Immediately my mind was like, dang, nobody wants to talk to me. Like, what's wrong with me? And immediately I said to myself, wait a minute, I'm a cool person, and I know how to talk to people, and I know how to make friends, and I have some friends that really care about me. And then once I did that, I noticed how that changed my energy to be more welcoming. And so people around me started to be more accepting. They started to come to me, and they started to like really want to be my friends. And so a lot of this is all about feeling confident in ourselves. Once you have that, you will have others that will respect you. People will treat you differently, and they really won't try to get under your skin as much. They will begin to feel inspired by you. They won't see you as an easy target. Because when you respond and you react a certain type of way, we got to be honest with ourselves. But there will be some type of people who will specifically target you if you are overly emotional, if you seem very timid, or, you know, showing up into these other ways. Not saying every human being that does that, but that is the way of the world. There are people in the world that actually do that. So don't let anyone disturb who you are. Don't let anybody disturb your peace. Don't let anyone take you away from your confidence and your self-love. In conclusion, staying unbothered and not being triggered by people. It's not about avoiding the world. It's not about not having feelings for people. It's not about running away when you see a problem. It is about how you respond and how you react. It's about how resilient you are. It is about how confident you are. And it's also about how much you focus on yourself. I hope this video has been very helpful to you guys. If you need to come back here and rewatch, make sure you do that. Save this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and as well as share it. And as always, peace.